Hello and welcome to another Sprues and Brews unboxing. Today we are looking at a new warband for Warhammer Underworlds Nethermaze, the Gorechosen of Dromm. So first of all, I want to say a massive thanks to Games Workshop for sending us this for free a little early ahead of release to have a look at and share it on the channel. So this is exciting because it's a brand new Khorne warband for Warhammer Underworlds and quite an elite one at that. We saw this previewed at the recent preview show from Games Workshop, and essentially it looks like it's made up of like 3 characters who've got quite a lot of wounds. Each are quite tough. There's some abilities that can force the enemy to charge and like a blood tithe mechanic. So yeah, I'm excited to open this up and see what's inside. I'm a big Khorne fan, so these guys will be definitely going in my Blades of Khorne army as well, which is pretty exciting. So yeah, without further ado, shall we crack these open and have a look? In the video, what we'll do is have a look at the miniatures, we'll have a look at the cards, but what I also want to do is show off the painted models as well. So hopefully, all going well, at the end of the video I'll have these fully assembled and painted to show you what they look like in the flesh. So let's get the various bits out of the box. We'll have a look at the cards a little bit later, but what I wanted to do first is have a look at the sprues and just see what these look like. And yeah, I gotta say, they look pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to building these ones. Nice kind of chaos star with a Khorne symbol on the base of that one. Yeah. Nice red colour. Obviously the Warhammer Underworld stuff comes in coloured plastic with the idea that you can just use it with the cards out of the box, but yeah, I'll be painting these guys up because they're really, really cool. So that is that one, and then we've got another sprue here which looks like it's got 2 of the other bodies on there and 1 of the other bases. So you've got a couple of new models that I'm sure, I mean normally all the Underworlds models get rules in for Age of Sigmar as well, but I know there's like the Dad Bod Slaughter Priest in here, the guy who's kind of like midway towards a Khorgoroth, and then we've got Dromm, the Wounder of Worlds, who I think is a priest, I want to say, maybe. Obviously once we've had a look at the actual cards, well, I'll confirm what he is. But yeah, so yeah, let's have a look at what cards are in the pack. Before we look at the cards though, I thought I'd have a quick look at the instructions. These are push fit models, so they're going to be quite straightforward to put together. You don't need any glue. What I've found that if you put glue, sometimes the pegs don't fit completely. So if you do want to glue them, just cut a little bit off the end of the peg and it'll fit a little bit better. Or realistically, 99% of Underworlds models have not used glue, they just push together no problem. So it also makes them easier to remove them from the bases if you want to paint them as well. So yeah, we'll have a quick look. I had a quick nosy ahead, and the main character is a Slaughter Priest. We've got a Skull Grinder in there, and then yeah, the Gore Hawk is kind of on the way to becoming a Khorgoroth. But yeah, like I say, these are going to go together pretty easily really, so not too difficult and should make things fairly easy to build. So yeah, let's have a look at the cards in the warband and then we'll come back at the end of the video with the painted models. And here's a look at the cards that you get in the set. So let's have a look at the fighters first. They've all got this mechanic, Blood Tithe. Basically when you set it up, they get a Blood Tithe token, and then when they deal damage or are dealt damage, they get a Blood Tithe token as well. So they accrue this. Once they hit 3, they inspire, but then they can spend it on different things as well. So Skull Grinder, Herax, they've all got low defense dice really, with 1 dice and shields across the whole lot, but they've got quite a health pool. 4 health. He's got a range 1 weapon, 2 dice, 2 damage, Blood Chains and Stagger. So Blood Chains allows him to remove a Blood Tithe point to make it range 2, which is pretty cool. When he inspires, the weapons go up to damage 3, which is really, really cool. We've then got the Gore Hawk, the big kind of brutish looking guy, movement 3, 5 health. He has got 2 abilities, Crushing Grip and Choking Grip. 2 dice, 3 damage on Crushing Grip, 2 dice, 1 damage, Throttle and Stagger on Choking Grip. And there's a lot of access to Stagger within the warband. Throttle for the Choking Grip. After the deal damage step, Give the target one move token and they cannot be driven back by this attack action. You can then remove one of the fighter's blood tithe tokens. If you do, deal 1 damage to the target. So that's pretty cool. When he inspires, he goes up to 6 damage, crushing grip 3 dice 3 damage, choking grip 3 dice 1 damage. Absolute beast, so really like him. And then finally we've got Dromm, the Wounder of Worlds, the Warband leader himself. He's a priest and there's some cards that interact with that. Movement 3, 5 health. He's got his Blood Blessed Axe and Staff, range 2, 2 dice, 2 damage. He's got his own activation in Rage. You remove X blood tithe tokens from him, where X is the round number. You choose a visible fighter with no move or charge tokens within 4 hexes. The chosen fighter makes a charge action with that fighter and then stagger that fighter. They get +1 dice to friendly fighters' range 1 attack actions during that charge action. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You can potentially use it to draw people towards him. So pretty fun. When he inspires, he goes up to 3 dice and Grievous on his weapon, and yeah, 5 health. He's pretty cool. They're all a little bit fragile. You know, they've only got 1 defense dice, but you kind of want them to take that damage because then they get their blood tithe tokens. So in addition to those, you also get a rivals deck, like you do in all of the Warhammer Underworlds warbands. So what we'll do is have a quick look through some of these. So Blood Boil. Choose a fighter within 2 hexes of a friendly Dromm. Deal 1 damage to the chosen fighter. Blood Curdling Roar. Use before you would remove 1 or more blood tithe counters from a friendly fighter with 0 or more blood tithe counters. When you do, you remove an additional 1. Brazen Edge Fury. The first attack action made by the chosen fighter in the next activation has Cleave. Or reroll 1 attack dice in the attack roll for the first attack action made by the chosen fighter in your next activation. When you play the card, you can remove 1 of the chosen fighter's blood tithe counters. If you do, you gain both effects. Call of Blood's a prayer. That can be used by Dromm. Choose up to 2 fighters. Push each chosen fighter 1 hex towards the nearest fighter from an enemy warband. If the chosen fighter has 1 or more blood tithe tokens, you can remove 1 of the fighter's blood tithe counters. If you do, push the chosen fighter up to 2 hexes towards the nearest fighter from an enemy warband. We've got 3 domains that we get access to as part of the warband. So the Domain of Blood, while that's active, fighters cannot be healed or driven back. It persists until the next activation, but if you remove a blood tithe counter from Dromm, it lasts until the end of the round, so that's really cool. The Domain of Fury. So when a fighter begins a move action, that move action cannot end further from the closest enemy fighter. This effect persists until the end of activation, or again, you can remove a blood tithe to make it last till the end of the round. And then the Domain of Wrath. When activated, fighters must make charge action if they can. This effect persists until the end of the next activation or until another domain is played. And again, you can spend the blood tithe to make it last until the end of the round. So really, really cool. Overhead Smash. You can play in a power step following your activation. You cannot play in your last power step of the round. Choose a fighter adjacent to a friendly Gorehawk. At the start of your next activation, deal 2 damage to the chosen fighter if they're adjacent to the Gorehawk. When this card deals damage, you can remove 1 blood tithe for it to cause 3 damage. So yeah, really, really cool, that one. Skinner Brass. Choose a friendly fighter, +1 damage to attack actions that target the chosen fighter to a minimum of 1. The effect persists until the end of the round or until the chosen fighter is dealt damage. And then Wound the Realm. Choose 1 fighter within 1 hex of no one's territory. Deal 1 damage to the chosen fighter. When you play, you can remove all blood tithe counters from friendly Dromm. If you do, deal 1 damage to each fighter within 1 hex of no one's territory as well. So that's pretty cool. You then also get 10 upgrade cards. So Aura of Wrath, fighters within 2 hexes of the fighter cannot be driven back. Bloody Worshipper, at the start of each round, give this fighter 1 blood tithe token. Crazed Rampager, +2 move while the fighter is making a charge action. Final Frenzy, the fighter cannot be taken out of action. The effect does not prevent damage being dealt to this fighter. At the end of the action phase, break this card. When the card is broken, the fighter is taken out of action. So essentially, you can still take damage, but you cannot die until the end of the round where he just dies automatically, so that's pretty cool. Paragon of Slaughter. In the declare attack action step of your fighter's range 1 or 2 attack actions, you can remove 1 of the fighter's blood tithe counters. If you do, when that attack action succeeds, pick 1, heal this fighter or draw a power card. Powerful Hatred. When the fighter is considered to be supporting fighter for friendly attack actions made within X hexes, where X is the number of blood tithe counters on the enemy fighter. On your fighter. Retaliate. Use this during a successful attack action that targets this fighter. After the out of action check, the fighter makes a range 1 or 2 attack action, then break this card. It must target the attacker. Sharpened by Rage. In the declare attack action step, you can remove one of the fighter's blood tithe counters. If you do, pick Cleave, Ensnare or Knockback 1. The fighter's range 1 and range 2 attack actions have that ability until the attack is resolved. White Hot Anger. Use this after a friendly fighter's successful range 1 or 2 attack action. Enemy warbands treat hexes adjacent as lethal hexes in addition to other hex types. The effect persists until the end of the round. And then Wrath Incarnate. The fighter has the following cumulative abilities determined on blood tithe. So 1, they can't be driven back, 2, +1 move, and 3, +1 damage to the fighter's range 1 or 2 attack actions. So really, really cool. And then finally, we get 12 objective cards in the Rivals deck. So Brutal Reckoning, if friendly fighter's attack action takes an enemy fighter out of action, and that friendly fighter has 1 or more blood tithe counters and 1 or more wound counters for 1 glory. A Potent Offering for 1 glory. Score this immediately after an enemy fighter is taken out of action if a domain is persisting, which again is pretty easy to do, there's 3 in the deck. A Puissant Strike. Score this immediately after a friendly fighter's attack action takes an enemy fighter out of action if the damage dealt by the attack action was exactly enough to take it out of action. That's doable with the range of attack values that you've got. Worthy Offering. Score in end phase if your warband has 2 or more blood tithe counters. Bloody Claim. Score this in an end phase if 1 or more friendly fighters hold an objective within 1 hex of no one's territory. Consecrated in Blood. Score this in end phase if no enemy fighters held objectives and 1 or more friendly fighters each hold an objective within 1 hex of no one's territory, worth 2. Pretty cool. Glorious Battle is worth 2. Score this in end phase if 4 or more fighters have 1 or more charge tokens and or more blood tithe counters. So that's pretty easy to do as well. Grim Satisfaction's worth 3. Score in end phase if 4 or more fighters have 1 or more wound counters, or 1 or more friendly fighters have a total of 8 blood tithe and or wound counters. So again, that's a pretty easy one to get. Hack and Slash for 1. Score in end phase if 2 or more successful attack actions were made during your activations in the previous phase. The Blood God's Due. Score in end phase if 3 or more fighters each have 1 or more wound counters and or 1 or more blood tithe counters. Untouchable Fury. Score immediately after a friendly fighter is dealt damage by an attack action if that friendly fighter is not taken out of action by that damage. And then Worshipped in Battle. Score in end phase if 2 or more surviving friendly fighters have 1 or more blood tithe and those fighters are with 1 hex of no one's territory. So some pretty cool cards there. Like with the other Underworld sets, you do also get a set of cards that you can be used for deck building too. So have a quick flick through those. And again, there's some pretty cool stuff in here. So yeah, I'm at the point where I think I would prefer kind of the simplicity of Rivals, though I know deck building is still important for a lot of people playing the game. That's a lot of the enjoyment, crafting a deck. This is cool if you want some really deadly like crabs and stuff. You can deal a damage to a chosen fighter. They get +2 dice to attack action and an additional damage, which is crazy. But yeah, so building decks is a kind of important part for some people, and I guess really to stay ahead of the curve, if you are kind of doing that, it does make sense to pick up other warbands in order to get the cards so you can craft some decks. That's kind of why I like the Rivals element, because you don't really have to, I guess, play catch up on all the warbands to get all the cards that you want. You just need to pick up your warband, or maybe pick up one of the optional Rivals decks that are sold separately. There's Deadly Depths that is up for pre-order today, which is a good example of a Rivals deck that is suitable for like any warband, which is pretty nice. But yeah, there's some cool stuff in here. A lot of them are very aggressive, as you would expect from the Khorne warband, and there's some that you'd probably want to swap straight into the, if you are playing like competitively, swap straight into the pre-built deck, because there's some really, really good options in here. This one, for example, Shoulder Charge, is a really good upgrade. Basically lets you push someone that's adjacent when you start a move action. So what you could do is do a charge and push a supporting fighter out of the way, and then go back into the person that you want to charge. And then again, you get 12 new objective cards in here as well. So even if you don't fancy the Khorne Warband, it's well worth having a look at the actual cards to see if there's anything that takes your fancy there, because yeah, there's some pretty cool options here for you, which is always nice to see within the game. And here's a look at the assembled and painted Gorechosen, and I've got to say, they are an absolutely gorgeous kit to paint up. I'm a big Khorne fan, I've got a big Khorne army, so these guys will be definitely going into my Age of Sigmar army, but it's really nice to paint them up for Underworlds too. If you have a quick look at each of the models in turn, we've got Dromm himself, looking pretty awesome. This is a quick paint job put together over a couple of nights for the purposes of the review, but yeah, they were really quick to do. These are all just push fit as well. I've not glued anything here, so they're just popped together, primed them black, I think, and then yeah, painted them up from there. So we've got him, we've got this guy who I really like, with his kind of like flames on his back and his flaming kind of like mace that he's got. He's really cool. So yeah, I enjoyed painting this guy up. And then we've got the Gore Hulk 2, who is, yeah, he's a bit of a beast, isn't he? Again, really, really nice model to paint up. Really enjoyed doing him. So yeah, that is a look at the Gorechosen of Dromm, the new warband for Warhammer Underworlds. Looking forward to playing some games with them. I think they're going to be really fun and aggressive and no nonsense. Get stuck in, generate a load of blood tithe, and then spend that blood tithe to activate some cool abilities. So if you enjoyed this, I've got a full write-up over on the website as well, spruesandbrews.com. So you head over there. I've got pictures of all the sprues and some more pictures of the painted models, so check that out if you're interested. We've also got a review of Deadly Depths up today as well, which is the new Rivals deck. So that is up here on YouTube and over on the site too, so check that out if you're interested. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this, why not give us a follow? We do lots of kind of unboxings and reviews and that kind of things. We should be having some kind of more video content on the site soon as well, so want to get some more battle reports up, certainly of Underworld, so stay tuned to the site. We'll be having those back soon as well. And again, massive thanks to Games Works for sending us the set over to review. So yeah, if you're going to pick these up, let us know in the comments. And yeah, have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.